When Scripture deals with something as problematic in a civilization, a culture, or government, it kind of mirrors things that happen throughout history. The last time we were together, we took a look at the very beginning of Proverbs chapter 29, verses 1 through 4. I want to continue and pick up with verse number 7. And take a look at how this may seem familiar with what we have faced in recent years. Verse number 7. The righteous considers the cause of the poor, but the wicked does not understand such knowledge. The righteous considers the cause of the poor, but the wicked does not understand such knowledge. What's the picture? The picture may be of those individuals that are put in charge of solving a problem that don't solve it at all. That problem continues. Decades later, the problem's even worse. Why? They were incapable of understanding it in the first place. If you put incompetent people in charge of something, incompetency is going to filter over into the decisions that they make. Ultimately, you see the same problems that arise year after year after year. So how do these same people stay in power year after year for decades? Because the problems continue for decades. Here's the verse again. The righteous considers the cause of the poor. The wicked does not understand such knowledge. The very next verse, verse number 8, scoffers set a city aflame, but the wise men turn away wrath. And here it's not just people in charge. It's almost like people become violent when they can't have their own way. Does that sound familiar? And you have to be blind to everything if you said, well, that doesn't sound familiar at all. It does. It just doesn't fit the day of the writing of this chapter alone. It fits today. This concept could be something that was written into today's paper or on today's internet, because this fits. Scoffers set a city aflame. Wise men turn away wrath. So you would think people that are intellectually fit, people that are academically sound, people that are in positions of authority would be dissuading violence, which means people that actually clamor for violence, who are in positions of authority, they don't need to be in positions of power at all. Sometimes I think people that get elected would be better as a dog catcher than in the position that they hold. And if you think about it, I think you would agree. Here's a statement again. Scoffers set a city on fire, aflame. The wise men turn away wrath, because destroying things around you does not solve the problem. It makes it worse. Verse number 9, if a wise man contends with a foolish man, whether the fool rages or laughs, there is no peace. What's the impact? I don't care how intelligent you are, if you're actually trying to carry on a conversation with somebody that's foolish, they're not going to understand. They'll either get upset or they'll laugh at it. Which raises an interesting point. When you talk about the problems we face today, take a look at who gets upset or who laughs. Because both of those extremes do not fall into the category of intelligence. In verse number 10, the bloodthirsty hate the blameless, but the upright seek his well-being. The bloodthirsty can't stand people that are trying to be good, can't stand people that are trying to live at a higher ethical level than are they. The bloodthirsty, the violent, the foolish can't stand people like that. However, the upright desire to be good. The upright seeks his well-being, the well-being of the one that is good. Verse number 11, a fool vents all his feelings, but a wise man holds them back. Sound familiar? Verse number 12, if a ruler pays attention to lies, all his servants become wicked. Interesting principles in the wisdom book of the Hebrews, the book of Proverbs. And just like the beginning of chapter 29, these verses, further on in chapter 29, sound like they're describing today. Do we need to talk about those in positions of authority in governmental offices? Jesus did it. Why should we refrain? Interesting question. Sobering comments. Please stay safe. We'll talk again soon.